Today, we're diving into one of the biggest health concerns of 2025, and that is measles. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you are seeing me for the very first time, hi, my name is Samuel. I am a registered nurse and I do a little bit of other things as well. So, there has been a lot of outbreaks in certain places, such as the US, such as Canada, and a lot of people are, asking questions like, do I need a booster? Do I need to get my child vaccinated? What am I supposed to do? So in this video, I'm going to be taking you guys through what measles is and everything you should know to keep yourself safe. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to stick around until the end of this video. Okay, welcome back. Now, before we dive into that, I just want to share a bit of personal story. So, as a kid, I had measles. I can't remember the particular age I was. I think I was even less than a year old. I was probably 9 months thereabout. Anyway, so imagine your baby having measles. I was having all sorts of fever, high fever, rash, and based on what my mom had said, it came to some extent that it was beginning to get sort of like smelly, but thankfully, here I am today, hale and hearty, despite how extremely sick I was. So that is why this topic is very close to my heart, and I feel like, you know what, we need to talk about this. Okay, so to start with, what is measles? So measles is a highly contagious virus that spreads through droplet contacts. This can be through coughing, sneezing, or even probably just breathing in the same room as the infected person. And now, what are some of the symptoms of measles? These include high fever, rash, coughing, runny nose, red eyes, and a blotchy rash that spreads all over the body. Remember how I said I was covered in rash as a kid? Yeah, that is what I'm trying to say now. Blotchy rash covering all of the body. It can also lead to serious complications such as pneumonia or brain swelling, and in some cases, even death. So now you may be wondering, but why is measles coming out at this time? Based on what I've seen on the net, that as of May 2025, there has been over 1,500 cases of measles in the US, and this is the highest in years. Also, that countries in Europe, Asia, and Africa have been experiencing some spike in the occurrence of measles. Now, what are some of the things that could be causing this? Number one is vaccination hesitancy. People they always hesitate when it comes to vaccination. They always feel like vaccination is like a sort of death sentence to their children, so they would prefer not to have that vaccine, except, it's probably a life or death situation. So most people still have some myth about vaccines, and they believe that it's like insertion of chips, all those kind of things. Then another cause could be the missed childhood vaccination during the pandemic. During the pandemic, everywhere were shut, and some children probably would have missed vaccinations. This could be one of the reasons why we're seeing a spike in the occurrence of measles. One other reason is international travel. Now, some people could have been vaccinated and all, but when they travel out of their borders to a country where they probably have high occurrences of measles, they could be exposed. Because one thing I want you to know is that being vaccinated against measles doesn't mean that you won't have it. It may happen, although it's extremely rare. Now, some of you may be asking, do adults need measles booster? Okay, let me just tell it to you that if you were born before the year 1957, then you are probably safe completely from measles, because measles was very widespread back in those days. If you are vaccinated and you've had 2 doses of MMR vaccine, you're supposed to have it like your early 12 to 15 months and 4 to 6 years. So if you are sure that you've had these 2 doses, then you could consider yourself protected for life against measles. But if you've only had 1 dose or you are not sure, I would probably recommend you get a booster, most especially if you are planning to travel internationally anytime soon, if you are working in a healthcare setting, if you are living in an outbreak zone, for example, people in Alberta, Canada. So if you're wondering, MMR vaccine simply means measles, mumps, and rubella, and it is completely safe and effective. Now, one other most asked question is, can you get measles after you have been vaccinated? I have talked about this earlier, but I'll just say this again, that yes, although it is extremely rare, but the vaccine does not have 100% effectiveness even after 2 doses. It only gives you 97% effectiveness. But even after you may have had your vaccines and probably still come down with measles, your symptoms will be very much mild and it won't be like someone who has not had measles at all. So you can be rest assured about that. And yeah, there could be less or no complications at all. But like I said earlier, it happens, although it is extremely rare. Now, when should your child have their measles vaccine? In their first 12 to 15 months of age and in their first 4 to 6 years of age. This is the recommended time for your child to have their measles vaccine. Although in some situations, your doctor might recommend them having at early 6 months. This is probably if you are about to travel globally, like out of your borders. Okay, so now just to wrap up everything that we've talked about, you should get a booster if you are not sure that you've had the 2 doses or you have probably not had any at all. You may want to get a blood test done or probably just speak with your doctor who will give you proper recommendation. You may want to be sure that you are really immune before you travel internationally, most especially, or traveling into a widespread zone. And as for parents, make sure that you are keeping your children's vaccinations up to date. You have everything in record. So if you found this video very helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions or you want to share your measles story. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.